How helpless is this fairy acting as an undercover agent in the demon realm? Not only does she constantly perform heavy scenes in front of the demon clan with Tang Chuan, just to avoid being recognized by the demons as a spy from the fairy realm, but Ning Sixing sighed. Was it just acting after all? Originally, he wanted it to be real. Just a moment ago, 2 female demons passed by Tang Chuan's room. He is the man known as the demon realm's divine waste. I heard that he and 3 fox demons are cultivating together and are safe and sound. I'm really envious of the woman who gets to spend time with him. Forget it. I won't listen anymore. Let's go to the kitchen and find a cucumber. But Ning Sixing was puzzled in her room. Why does Tang Chuan want me to keep shaking the bedpost? And what is the use of this bronze plate given by Su Hao? And I can see a faint death aura lingering around it. I should hide it better. Otherwise, if the demons find out. Suddenly, Tang Chuan entered. Why is it only you who came back? What about our friend who was taken away? Tang Chuan said, I've already rescued that person, but I still need her help with something. But she has lost all her fairy powers now. You still treat her like this? But at this moment, Tang Chuan turned his head directly. Ning Sixing was still confused. Tang Chuan shouted, I want. Then he walked towards Ning Sixing. Ning Sixing nervously asked, what are you going to do? And Tang Chuan leaped towards him. Of course, it's you. It turns out Tang Chuan realized that there were demons outside the door. The previous scene was just acting. What are you guys doing? Don't you know we are doing something serious? The demons apologized one after another. The captain is just anxious to gather everyone. Ah Wei was murdered. Ning Sixing thought to herself, so it wasn't real just now. She couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. You go contact the fairy realm to come and pick up the person at this location. Then go and meet up with the demons. And say that we went too hard just now. Her legs are a bit sore. Let her rest for a while. When they arrived at Ah Wei's crime scene, Captain Bao Jia was deeply saddened, and he threatened that the person who harmed him won't see the sun tomorrow. Tang Chuan had a very surprised expression. How could this happen? Who killed Ah Wei? Was it the fairy who won today? Bao Jia said she was hit by a hidden fairy curse. It absolutely couldn't be her. But at this moment, Bao Jia noticed a piece of cloth in Ah Wei's hand. Tang Chuan already had a triumphant expression on his face. Isn't this the fabric of Captain Bain? Captain Bao Jia confronted Bain with the evidence. The victim, Ah Wei, had your fabric material in her hand. Did you snatch the fairy away for your own pleasure and kill my brother? Bain was stunned. What the fuck is wrong with you? Who killed your brother? And Bao Jia grabbed Bain directly. Look at this. Isn't this piece of fabric from your clothes? And Bain still didn't know what was going on. How could his clothes be torn? Bao Jia said sarcastically, you're still pretending. Should I give you an Oscar? Where did you hide the fairy that Ah Wei won? Hand her over quickly. Are you an idiot? Can't you see through this obvious framing? If I had done it, would Ah Wei have been able to tear my clothes off? This made Bao Jia think it made some sense. Then tell me, where were you and what were you doing that night? Do you have any witnesses? But at that time, Bain was enjoying himself in the dungeon where the fairy was kept. Can't let him know about that place. Tang Chuan, seeing the situation, quickly instigated the demons. He said, he can't say it anymore. He is the culprit. Let's avenge brother Ah Wei. Bain asked Bao Jia to calm down first. Let's go find Lord Qian Hu to ensure justice. Tang Chuan smirked secretly. This kid is quite smart, knowing the tactic of de-escalation, but I anticipated your anticipation. Suddenly, a woman's voice came from behind. The fairy that Ah Wei won shouted. It's him who wanted to sell me to the demon clan. And he said I couldn't leave until I gave birth to 100 children. I don't want to have children with the demons. Please, let me go. Bao Jia angrily said. You bastard. How are you going to deny this now? Bain, in anger, grabbed the fairy. You dare to frame me like this? In the next second, Bao Jia knocked Bain several meters away with a single blow. Bain's subordinates, seeing their leader being beaten, started shouting for a fight. Both sides were about to get physical. Bain quickly yelled to stop them. Stop fighting. There's someone scheming against us. But Tang Chuan went directly behind Bain. Brother, being too clever is not a good thing. You know, the fairies who were trapped just now noticed the commotion outside. And Tang Chuan and his group found the prison cells. Tang Chuan urged them to quickly remove the fairy enchantment. The demons have already noticed that I'm missing. Then he instructed the fairies to assume a horse stance, and several streams of energy gushed out from the ground towards the fairies. Tang Chuan clasped his hands together. Strangely, the fairy who had previously been unsealed also moved towards the energy. I guess she's addicted. As the fairies cried out, the fairy enchantment was released one by one. Fellow cultivators, the seal has been lifted. You can use your true chi now. Everyone, transform into grains of rice and let Qian Ning take you back to the fairy realm. The prison cell was instantly filled with fairy energy. Tang Chuan, puzzled, asked Qian Ning, didn't I just remove your fairy enchantment? Why did you remove it again? Qian Ning apologized and explained that it was just an accident, definitely not because she was addicted. Tang Chuan handed her a note, instructing her to go to this place where the fairy realm will arrange for someone to receive them. It turns out that Tang Chuan's undercover mission is not yet complete. He intends to stage another good play. Meanwhile, due to Bai Yin's death, Bao Jia and his men are searching for the undercover agent from the fairy realm, but they can't find Tang Chuan, so they start suspecting him. At this moment, Bao Jia's men found Tang Chuan. Turns out Tang Chuan disguised himself as someone stabbed by the undercover agent. Bao Jia is indeed not very clever, and he fell for it directly, so he carried Tang Chuan, intending to heal his injuries. But Bai Yin's men, unaware of the situation, refused to let them go because their boss was dead. No matter how Bao Jia explained, they wouldn't accept it. At this moment, a spell flew towards Bao Jia. It was a silence spell. Bao Jia looked at Tang Chuan. It probably wasn't him. In front of everyone's eyes, he fell unconscious, and Bai Yin's men, in their ignorance, attacked. Another voice said it was Bao Jia's men who made the move. So the battle was about to break out. While Bao Jia was planning to lift the silence spell, unexpectedly, his meridians were directly sealed. Bao Jia was dumbfounded. Suddenly, Tang Chuan stood up, but it was already too late, and he was blasted straight into Bai Yin's men. Meanwhile, Bao Jia couldn't move at all. Poor Bao Jia was betrayed by this scumbag Tang Chuan. Inside the Demon King's hall, the Demon King ordered the disciplinary court to investigate the undercover agent from the fairy realm. One of the witches holding a long whip is leading the investigation. The disciplinary court arrived at the crime scene from last night, taking Tang Chuan back for investigation. Tang Chuan explained that a black-clothed person snapped Bai Yin's neck. I just took a glance and got stabbed by him. But at this moment, a witch walked over, interrogating Tang Chuan. Why kill Bai Yin without using a knife, but used a knife on you instead? Tang Chuan realized that the witch in front of him, though busty, wasn't brainless. So he suggested that maybe they were afraid I would escape, that's why they used a knife. But the witch found a loophole. If you were running away, you would have had your back turned to the murderer. How did you know he used a knife on you? Tang Chuan's brain was working frantically at this point. It was the brother from the demon clan who told me while bandaging me up. The witch leaned in close and whispered to Tang Chuan. They do seem to tell a lot of lies. Suddenly, she tore off the gauze, then stomped her foot on Tang Chuan's back, and saw the actual knife wound. You can go now. Come back for further investigation when needed. Tang Chuan was not convinced. Why should I come and go as you please? The witch revealed a hint of killing intent. Based on all the escaped fairies who were trapped, I'm determined to catch the undercover agent from the fairy realm. Comply or die. After a moment, Tang Chuan returned to the room, and Ning Sixing was very happy. That's great. All the fairy comrades escaped smoothly. Perhaps she rushed too fiercely to stop. Tang Chuan also soon felt the lack of breath. Ning Sixing saw Tang Chuan covered in bandages and was concerned if he was injured. Suddenly, the knife wound from earlier on Tang Chuan instantly fell off. It turned out to be a snake disguised as a wand summoned by him. Ning Sixing worried if Bao Jia had discovered it. Tang Chuan smiled faintly. Those two idiots are not even worth 1% of that woman. It seems that the undercover mission is more exciting than imagined. While Tang Chuan was sound asleep at night, Ning Sixing was secretly stealing glances at him. She thought to herself that although the senior is naughty, but he saved so many sisters from the fairy realm, and he is reliable. Plus, he looks cute when he's sleeping. But the scene in front of Ning Sixing almost made her jaw drop. A shadow suddenly appeared before her eyes. Just as Ning Sixing was amazed by how powerful it was, the shadow grew bigger and bigger. It turned out to be Qian Ning, the fairy they had rescued earlier. It seems she still intends to confront Tang Chuan. Ning Sixing wondered why she came back to the demon realm when she was supposed to return to the fairy realm with the other fairies. And what the hell is she doing with those actions? Suddenly, Tang Chuan grabbed Ning Sixing's hand. He questioned her. What do you want? Qian Ning said, you saved me, so I'm yours now. Let me repay you. But Tang Chuan didn't indulge her. Why don't you obediently go back to the fairy realm? What are you doing here causing trouble? Qian Ning insisted on staying and helping Tang Chuan as an undercover agent. After all, you did that thing to me before. Tang Chuan told her to leave quickly. You coming here will only make it easier to expose us. But Qian Ning still insisted on staying. I'm good at concealment techniques. I even sneaked into your room before, and you didn't notice. I can definitely help you. Tang Chuan was a bit puzzled. That name seems pretty cool, and Qian Ning immediately demonstrated it on the spot. How awesome is that? But Tang Chuan didn't think much of it. I thought it was some powerful fairy technique. Turns out it's just shadow concealment. The name sounds impressive though. Qian Ning promptly expressed her admiration for Tang Chuan's power, and the fact that he saved her life. But Tang Chuan told her that Ning Sixing is still here, to prevent her from being embarrassed pretending to be asleep. Qian Ning was instantly scared and collapsed on the ground. Oh no, I flirted with you like that earlier. Does that mean she saw it all? How can I face people in the fairy realm now? But Tang Chuan didn't care about that. He directly handed her the bronze plate Su Hao gave him earlier, and asked her to investigate what exactly it is that the demon clan is willing to take at any cost. How persistent is this fairy in trying to flirt with Tang Chuan? Tang Chuan only helped her unblock her meridians once, and she became infatuated and wanted to come back multiple times, even resorting to sneak attacks at night. So Tang Chuan had no choice but to tie her up. Qian Ning shouted, "Why are you tying me up? Is it wrong for me to want to flirt with you?" Tang Chuan said, "Who told you not to be honest? And to launch sneak attacks while I'm sleeping? You're really petty." Qian Ning said, "Well, if I don't sneak attack, can I openly approach you instead?" Ning Sixing couldn't stand it anymore. To this fellow fairy, please have some self-respect as a cultivator, so as not to damage your moral integrity. Qian Ning sneered, "Who cares about moral integrity? There's no rule that immortals can't practice dual cultivation. Moreover, the fairies who have practiced dual cultivation with Tang Chuan have all achieved divine transformation." Ning Sixing was shocked, but in her heart, she thought, "I need to hurry up too. Can't let her steal the opportunity." Suddenly, a summons came from outside the door, saying that Qian Ben invites Tang Chuan to come over. Ning Sixing felt a bit panicked. Isn't he Bao Jie's superior? Could he also suspect you as the killer? But Tang Chuan remained calm. "Let me meet him first. Maybe it's a good thing." Then he asked Ning Sixing to release Qian Ning later on, and reminded her to gather information about the bronze plate. But Qian Ning was still being willful. "Got it, stingy." Tang Chuan thought to himself that if he wants to get promoted in the demon realm, he needs to clear his name. So he instructed the snake to continue disguising the wound. And surprisingly, the meeting place turned out to be a brothel. He is Qian Ben, the boss of the Lifeng Hall. Tang Chuan curiously thought, is this how important people conduct business in such a place? But suddenly, a snake slithered up Tang Chuan's body. It turned out to be a seductive snake demon. "What a handsome young man. If it's you, this lady can offer her services for free." Tang Chuan humorously responded, "If you appeared any later, I would have wet my pants from being scared." This made Qian Ben burst into laughter. "I never expected brother Tang Chuan to be such a humorous person. Indeed, you're the talented person recommended by Bao Jie." Tang Chuan asked if the reason for inviting him here was about Bao Jie's murder. "I should have made it clear before." Qian Ben seemed to not care at all about Bao Jie's life or death. "This time, inviting you, brother Tang Chuan, is to have you take over as the captain of the 10th squad, replacing Bao Jie." And Tang Chuan played the game of pretending to decline Qian Ben's offer, saying that he is still inexperienced, afraid that the esteemed gentleman of the demon realm would not accept him. But in his heart, he really wanted it. Qian Ben cheered him on and said, "If anyone dares to disrespect you, I'll kill them." And Tang Chuan intensified the acting. "I still have to refuse," while the snake demon next to him suffered innocently, and sighed. He truly deserves to be the only surviving man among the 3 fox demons. Qian Ben continued to instigate. "Don't you want to achieve something by joining the demon realm? Centurion is the first step of your official position." Tang Chuan replied, "If you're pushing me so hard, there must be some hidden agenda." And the snake demon still had an indescribable expression on her face. "Truly a man I admire. Let me be honest with you." Then he asked everyone present to leave, while the snake demon reluctantly said, "Brother, remember to come find me. It's free." Qian Ben told Tang Chuan, "By recommending you as the captain this time, I actually have 2 tasks for you. The first one is that a month later, the vice sect master's daughter from the soul-searching sect will come to the city for a visit, and she needs you to protect her closely for 24 hours. The second task is to continue finding Su Hao's whereabouts." "Why the rush to find Su Hao?" Qian Ben informed him that it's an order from the highest level of leadership. Knowing too much is not good. "How about it? After the tasks are completed, you won't be treated unfairly." "Not bad, but I have one condition. You'll cover tonight's expenses." And the little brothers of the demon clan gathered together. Each demon had different opinions, afraid of causing trouble. "Everyone, calm down." The little brothers cheered and asked Qian Ben to be fair to Bao Jie. "Brothers, I will thoroughly investigate Bao Jie's murder. But today, I'm announcing one thing. The newly appointed captain of the 10th squad is Tang Chuan." The little brothers were dissatisfied. "What qualities and abilities does this idiot have? I'm better than him." Seeing his disobedient little brothers, Qian Ben became angry. But Tang Chuan remained calm. Then he clapped his hands, and various types of demon sisters walked out. Surprisingly, they were all top class. "I don't even have enough salary for 3 years of enjoyment, and this clearly works very well. Brothers of the demon clan, if you accept me as the captain, we'll have team building activities 3 times a week. If you don't accept, it's fine to leave." Qian Ben was confused. No wonder you wanted me to cover tonight's expenses. You fucking want to bankrupt me, huh? The witch instructed Qian Ben to win over Tang Chuan as the captain. Qian Ben informed her that he might not resist the temptation of the snake demon. He agreed to the position of captain. The witch thought to herself, this man is amazing. If he's not an undercover agent, I have to snatch him. Qian Ben was extremely unhappy, thinking, what a bitch. If it weren't for the sake of the hallmaster's face, I would have taken you down long ago. The witch told him to step aside, and to report back if there was any new information about Tang Chuan. Before leaving, she couldn't resist using her tail to tempt him. Qian Ben realized, could this woman have mind-reading abilities? Did she discover the thoughts I had just now, those beastly behaviors? After becoming the captain, Tang Chuan returned to his room, only to find the witch waiting for him. Tang Chuan asked her, what are you here for? Didn't you finish the investigation? Little did he know, the witch slowly approached him. Don't worry, I'm not here to investigate you today. I just came to apologize. Tang Chuan noticed that Ning Sixing and Qian Ning were nowhere to be found in the room. Could she have captured them? The witch came closer and said, don't you have a fangirl roommate living with you? Well, at this moment, they're shivering in the wardrobe. The witch took advantage of the situation. I know a lot of things. You know, whether you know or don't know. I know. Would you like to give it a try, little brother? Little did she know, Tang Chuan instantly lay down on the bed, without any hesitation. How daring. But in her heart, she thought, how dare he be so rude in front of me? While Ning Sixing and Qian Ning watched their beloved fall into the clutches of the witch, they were filled with jealousy. Suddenly, the witch glanced at the wardrobe. Would you mind if I take a look at the wardrobe? Tang Chuan appeared very confident. Go ahead. After you finish looking, come over quickly. Ning Sixing and the others were in a panic. It's over. We're going to be discovered. Suddenly, Ning Sixing remembered what her senior had said before. In emergencies, she can crush this item to help escape. What kind of treasure could it be? Is it a one-hit kill sword? Or a world-devouring hammer? Just as the witch was about to open the wardrobe, Tang Chuan thought, if she's not incredibly stupid, she should also use that thing, right? When the witch opened it, it was filled with female witch dolls. What in the world is this? Oh my, you've discovered this little secret of mine, but they are my soul companions that I've cherished for many years. Would you like to experience it together? The witch, realizing that nothing had been found, turned and left. Thanks for the kind offer. Maybe next time. Tang Chuan asked her, what's your name? Miss, I'm Ziyin. You'll see me often in the future. Let's spar next time. Sure, Miss Ziyin. Then he abruptly closed the door. Tang Chuan sighed. That was really close just now. Ning Sixing said, the senior is truly amazing. You prepared a countermeasure in advance. Otherwise, it would have been exposed. That's good. There's so much more for you to learn in the future. Seeing the scene before her, Ning Sixing immediately became furious. What the fuck? You're a cultivator. Can't you be less vulgar? Then she smashed his collection. But the scene before Ning Sixing instantly stunned her.